Jessica Arden writes cozy mysteries and quirky contemporary romance, usually with a supernatural twist. She stomped grapes in her native California, hiked 350 miles on an ancient pilgrimage route in Spain, had breakfast at a Cotamundi in Costa Rica, and spent the night in a monastery. But no matter where life takes her, her true north always is with her husband and two energetic boys. When she's not writing, you can find Jessica teaching college English classes, designing graphics, logos, book covers, and making crafts. She's currently obsessed with vinyl and stickers and dreaming about being able to eat chips and salsa in a restaurant again. That's old. You've done that since then, haven't you, Jessica? And the story we're going to share with you today is Once Ghosted, Twice Shy.
Hello, everyone. I'm Jessica Arden, and I'd love to introduce you to the first book in my Ghosted Cozy Mystery series. Once Ghosted, Twice Shy is about Paige, a New Orleans ghost tour gift shop manager who discovers a mysterious app on her phone that matches her up with ghosts who want her to solve the mysteries behind their deaths. One of my favorite NetGalley reviews called this book Veronica Mars Meets Ghost Whisperer. This book might be for you if you like lighthearted, humorous paranormal cozies, strong female friendships, secret tunnels under the French Quarter, found family, eloquent hedgehogs, ghostly mystery writing great-grandmothers, and a secret society that would kill to keep its secrets. You can learn more about me and my books at jessicaarden.com. Thank you for having me.
Jessica, welcome. It's great to have you here. What got you into cozies?
So I'm actually from a romance writing background. Sorry, Marshall. Although I started reading a lot of, I have always read widely across all different genres, but I had particularly started reading a lot of cozies maybe like the year before the pandemic, and had been thinking about writing one. And then I happened across a tweet that said something about ghosts and Tinder. And this idea sort of came from that, to match up ghosts with living people who can help solve the mystery of how they died.
That's an interesting genre, cozies, because you have limitations, right? I mean, there can't be any significant violence.
Yep.
And there's not a whole lot of romance that's demonstrated, but you have to weave all of those things into something that's beautiful and attractive. What's the secret, do you think, to doing that well?
Oh, I don't know. I think the most appealing thing to me about cozies is the sense of community and family. And that really, even more so than the mystery, I think is what like Marshall was talking about, keeps bringing people back to, the characters, and the relationships between the characters is what really brings people back to the stories again and again. So I think that's a huge element of cozy mystery for me that I love. Yeah, and just it is a lot more to weave together than other genres that I've written in, but yeah, I actually kind of like that. There was one line though, that when the protagonist is being held captive by the secret society, and I could never swear because it's a cozy, and so it was like trying to come up with something that still had the same kind of impact, but would also keep my audience in mind as well.
What do your 5-star readers say they like best about this story?
Gosh, I think a lot of them have really liked the Paige's hedgehog, Auguste, who is he's named after Auguste Dupin, from the Edgar Allan Poe's The Murders in the Rue Morgue, and kind of channels that kind of personality. And he's a really fun character to write. And also Paige's great grandmother, who is a mystery writer, and she's also a ghost who visits who comes to mentor her in her mystery solving. so that's been really fun to write too. So she is kind of like Nancy Drew, but she wrote a series that was like Nancy Drew with paranormal elements.
Suspension of disbelief is essential in any ghost story. And I felt I had no problem doing that with this one.
Oh, good.
What's the secret for you in creating that world in a way that can make it palatable to people who might question it?
I think, I think an important part of that is also grounding things in the real world. So like really making the relationships between the characters something that feels true to life, making the fears of the characters true to life. And I think when you have something like that established, sliding in a little bit of ghosts and talking hedgehogs isn't such a stretch when you've got stuff like that going.
Doug Lyle likes to say that secondary characters can often power through a primary story with problems.
Yeah.
How do you create such memorable secondary characters like you have in this one?
Well, thank you I'm glad they're memorable for you. They're the main character's best friends in this are very much based on three of my closest friends from college. And so this is very much a pandemic book when I was in the middle of moving and not being able to say goodbye to the people who I was in Las Vegas and I'd been there for 20 years and not being able to say goodbye during those last few months before I moved. And, just missing all the interaction. I think I really put all of my wishful thinking, all of my important relationships, and the value those have in my own life, into the characters that I wrote in this book.
Penny reminds us that you're already leading a very full life, including your two guys, and you're teaching them. You're schooling them at home this year. How do you find time to write?
Right now, I'm mostly doing fifth grade, but I have it's a challenge. It's something that I have to really strive to make space for mentally and just time. But yeah, it's a challenge, but getting to it somehow.
What's your process right now? How do you write in this crazy world you're living?
Lots of thinking, lots of making sure I'm getting good input, just being outside, seeing the world, going places, watching good TV shows and reading lots of books that I love, and being around groups like you guys that I get to interact with other kindred spirits, writers, and keeping up with relationships. The creating fifth grade curriculum is actually pretty creatively inspiring too. It's been a fun project for that too.
Now you're doing something unique with the audiobook version, and that is you're using an artificial intelligence voice.
Yes.
How did that come about?
I really like shiny new things, just things that catch my interest. And Joanna Penn on the Creative Penn podcast that probably many of you know about, she had mentioned that Google Play was doing this beta of AI audiobooks. So I thought, why not? And I was actually really surprised. I had the idea that it was going to be very robotic, thinking of like Stephen Hawking voice. And it was surprisingly not the case. It still doesn't sound quite human, but it's closer for sure. And there are lots of different voices to choose from. I was pleasantly surprised. And I thought, that it's just, I don't think it's necessarily, as I said in my newsletter last week, something that will replace human narrators at all, but it's an additional option. It's a less expensive version for people, especially who like to listen really fast. I tend to listen to audiobooks at 2 times speed. sometimes more. So people who are, it won't replace the performance of a truly wonderful narrator, but it's an additional format and just something interesting, I thought.
And if you have characters with multiple accents, can you switch midstream?
No, not yet. Unfortunately, I tried that, but no. But you can go in and correct pronunciation of individual words or individual names, and you can change the sound a little bit. So probably you can manipulate the accents a little bit with a lot of effort.
JessicaArden.com, JessicaArden.com is your website. How can people sign up for your newsletter?
You can visit my website, and up in the little corner, the top right-hand corner, there's a newsletter button. You can click and sign up, and you'll get all the updates on teaching, writing, all the other things going on, recipes, crafting stuff.
You name it, it's there. Yeah. JessicaArden.com. Thank you very much, Jessica. That was terrific.
Thank you, Terry. Thank you, everyone, for being here.